What is up, YouTube? This week I've got some more woodworking advice and even a couple sales strategies that if I was to start over again, I'd simply ignore. The first one being buy once, cry once. While yes, I say that a lot on the channel when people ask about tools, machinery, stuff like that, it's not always the case unless you know for sure you want something. Like, I knew I wanted a lathe, so I went out and bought the best one that I could afford. Fell in love with it, and a year later I had the opportunity to buy the one I run now. When I say I would ignore that, I'm sure a lot of you know I'm a big fan of the Mythbuster Adam Savage. I actually am very active on his YouTube account or his YouTube channel. I'm in a lot of his live streams, even if I'm not actively in chat. I like to listen because he is one of the people maker-wise that I look up to in a big way and would absolutely love to shake his hand one day. And even better if I could build something with him, because yeah, it would be my idea of maker heaven. But I like one of the things he said in one of his episodes, videos, live stream, I forget what it was, but I know he said it. He said, buy the cheapest version of what you want and see if it actually does what you think it's going to do. At first I thought he was crazy, but then I throw the caveat, unless you know for sure, but really the only way to know for sure is to actually just buy the cheap version and try it. Like his example was a pneumatic rivet puller. I did it with a handheld belt sander. I got a cheap one, used it a handful of times, and by now I probably have the video out where I tell newbies, don't buy it. I still stand by that advice. But there are times where they are what you need to remove, the kind of material you need to move quickly. Sometimes that's what you need. If you're going to use it, make sure you know how to use it right. That's the key. But I bought a fairly inexpensive one a couple of years later. Asked a family member for a cordless version for Christmas. Got it. I love them both. And actually just recently learned there's a trick where you can use it to totally pre-sand your pen tubes. So they're going to be getting used a lot now. But don't mind the silliness. I've chugged way too much Mountain Dew. And it's starting to hit. But with that, and there's also, other things, because I can go on and on about things and then catch a squirrel and get on a rabbit hole and then there'll be a squirrel there. I'm trying to keep these short, sweet, to the point and not do that. But like when I first got into it, I was also told, oh, if you don't have this planer, you can't be a real woodworker. And I'm like, I don't buy that. That's one that I saw through pretty early on. Of course, the planer that they recommended, I'm looking at it, it's right there. But when I bought it, actually, again, it was a Christmas gift because there's a store here that has some really good deals, and I can usually talk people into getting me at least one big woodworking thing as long as it's under a certain price, which I'm not disclosing. I can usually talk them into about once every couple years. And the belt sander, to be honest, it was on sale for like $150. So that was easy. The planer wasn't. But that said, it's also, they know that if they say no, I'm probably going to go out there and buy it. So it is one trick I use to save myself money around the holidays. But I mean, I never bought into that for a second. And I know some people will tell you, if you're not a real woodworker unless you have a CNC or a router flattening jig or this or that, and it's no. If you can take a piece of wood, I'm looking for something. If you can take a piece of wood and you need this that much, you need that much cut off, and you can cut that much off, you're a real woodworker in my book. All woodworking is cutting wood and assembling things. So if you need that much cut off to put this on, to make a cross or something small, that's woodworking. You're a woodworker. I don't hold to any of that. I don't believe in gatekeeping. That's why I don't hold anything back. I'll show you guys exactly how I do everything. I might not show you every step in every video, but if you go digging through the channel, it's all there. I don't hold anything back. I don't believe in it. One of the biggest things that killed my sales at first was I was told you can't sell something until it's perfect. Now, if there's like a cutting board and you see a crack, you can't sell that. But if you have a cutting board and say you see a little bit of a knot on one side that goes into the wood a little bit, but it doesn't go all the way through. So are you telling me I shouldn't sell that? Because I do. If I see it and I know it's there, I add feet on that side so you can't use it. There's ways around everything. So just because you see an issue with something, think creatively, work your way around it. If you're doing something that's not wood related, like say you were making a stovetop cover that goes on top of your stove, which is something I'm looking into doing this year. I actually have a couple started that are buried right now because I started them a few years ago. I just need to get sides on them for the handles and they're ready. With that said, if you get a small crack in that in the glue joint, fill it in with a little CA. If anybody notices it, yeah, it was a small crack, but I filled it in, but it's not made to be a cutting board. It's not finished to be a cutting board, so don't use it as a cutting board. But it'll hold because I re-glued it with another type of glue that will hold. Problem solved. You know, I've done it with pens where I have part of it splits, part of it flies off, re-glue that part, clamp it together, let the glue set, sand everything back up. You can't even tell. Or if you can tell, it almost looks like it's supposed to be there. And I won't point it out to people because I know it's not going to crack there again because I put so much glue in it that if it cracks again, the pen's going to fail before that joint does. So, I mean, perfection, it's everybody's worst enemy because you're never going to achieve it. You know, so, I mean, there's 3 more that I realized after I made the last video that I thought were kind of, you know, fun, unique, and honestly helpful. Because if I would have been told this when I first started, I probably would have started doing shows about a year sooner. But yeah, so with that, if you got any other advice that you were told that you felt was absolute garbage, comment it below because I'm always interested to hear what other people are hearing too, because I mean that's just part of woodworking. I enjoy learning all the things. So with that, I will say don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment below if you agree with me, disagree with me. Let's keep it civil. I'm always open to discussions. And with that, we will call it here, and I will say cat in the hat, and that be that. That be that. It's the first time I messed that up. And I'm leaving it in this time. Have a good one, folks.